Potential changes coming to the child tax credit, even for tax year 2023. I'll explain that more coming up. My name's Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. Deductions are good, credits are great. Deductions are good, credits are great. That's one of the sayings we have around here. A deduction on your taxes always saves you a percentage of tax. So say, for example, you've got a $10,000 deduction and you're in the 22% tax bracket. Well, then that $10,000 deduction saves you $2,200 of tax. Fantastic, right? However, credits are great because they're a dollar for dollar reduction of tax. So if you have a $2,000 tax credit, then it's $2,000 less tax that you actually get to pay. So deductions are good, but credits are great. Through tax planning, you need to optimize and maximize both of those, right? And if there's if there's potential for you to get a tax credit, if you make some adjustments to your income or some of the financial choices you make, then absolutely take advantage of those things working with your CFP doing tax planning. Well, the child tax credit's been around for a long time. It's had a lot of changes though, recently and certainly over the past decade or so, but there's a new bill floating through Congress right now that could change the child tax credit for 3 years, including last year. So right when you thought, hey, we're not going to have any tax law changes that happen in the middle of tax season, well, here we are. The IRS has started accepting returns and they're still debating in Congress whether to change some of the rules for last year. So relates to the child tax credit. What are the details? Well, for a level playing field, the child tax credit right now is $2,000. It's a $2,000 tax credit for eligible individuals, okay? And so what that means is one of the eligibility requirements is it is for your children, dependent children, that you get to claim on your tax return. That's number one, and all the criteria that go along with that. But they've got to be younger than age 17. Okay, a few years ago through COVID, there was a unique, well, is your child younger than age 6? Are they age 6 to 18? Blah, blah, blah. Now it went back to the old rules, which is under age 17. So brand new child, like newborn, yep, eligible. Child that just turned 16, sweet 16, eligible. Child that's turning 17 or turned 17 in that year, not eligible. Why age 17? Why not make it 18? No one cares about your 17th birthday. And for whatever reason, that's the criteria. So age 17, that's the cutoff. $2,000. Could you make too much money and be limited? Yes. There's an adjusted gross income phase out that if you're single filer and you make more than $200,000, that's $200,000 adjusted gross income, then you're phased out. You're limited on how much of the child tax credit you get. Could go all the way to zero. Married filing jointly, $400,000. So there's that income threshold. But what about if you make too little income or you don't have enough tax? Well, up to $1,600 of every $2,000 child tax credit is refundable, which means if you don't have a lot of income or you've got a lot of deductions or you have a lot of kids, right? You have a lot of tax credits, and all of your federal tax is wiped out, how much of this $2,000 child tax credit actually still lands in your pocket? Will they actually give you the money versus offsetting tax? Well, $1,600 of the $2,000 for each kid actually would be refundable and could end up going directly to you via a refund, even if you didn't have enough federal tax to pay. So $1,600 of the $2,000 is refundable. Well, like I said, there's a new proposal going through Congress right now. It's actually just passed by the House Ways and Means Committee, and the House is going to talk through this, and if they like it, then it'll go to the Senate. We'll see if this thing gets passed. It is not passed yet, but the change actually has to deal with that refundable portion. This bipartisan bill is aimed at having more of the child tax credit go as a refundable credit to folks of lower income. And so what this change would mean is that for 2023, the refundable portion, instead of being $1,600, would be $1,800 per child. So that'd be for your 2023 taxes that you are preparing right now in spring of 24. This would last for 3 years and it actually steps up each year. So it'd be $1,800 would be the refundable portion for 2023. $1,900 would be the refundable portion for 2024. And then the full $2,000 of the child tax credit would be the refundable portion in 2025. There's even a suggestion listed in this bill to start indexing the child tax credit for inflation as well. This is not law yet. This is not passed yet, but be aware of it. And if you are in a situation where you've got enough deductions or enough credits or your income isn't high enough and therefore some of your child tax credits would be refundable, you might want to hold off on filing your return and give this a few weeks, maybe even a month, to see if this thing gets passed. If you're in that situation, normally you file your taxes as soon as you possibly can because there's money sitting in the treasuries that should be sitting in your bank account. But with this bill out there, might be something to hold off on. A couple of other just actionable things to be aware of here is I mentioned the eligibility, okay? If you have a child that's age 15 or 16 or turning 17 in 2024, you've got to be planning ahead because this tax credit, that $2,000 tax credit, is about to go away. It would be replaced by a dependent care credit, and that could be up to, or a dependent credit, could be up to $500 that you get. But even that, if you do get that, it's a $1,500 swing. That's a meaningful difference, could influence how much you should be withholding and your overall tax planning strategies. So work with your certified financial planner on that and stay up to date as to whether this new bill becomes law. Work with your CFP on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with a K, wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there as well. Or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.